My name is Jan van der Ven. I'm Chief Commercial Officer of 5 Degrees, and I'm here together with my colleague Max de Winter, Solutions Consultant.
Hi there, great to be in Asia.
Now, our product that we call Matrix is able to support the full stack that you need to run a bank. And then I'm talking about retail banks, private banks, and also SME banks, small and medium enterprises. And typically these banks have been innovating mostly in the front layers in the last couple of years. They've built great websites, they've built great apps. But to be a true digital bank, you also need to invest in the other layers, in the mid and in the back layer. Now that's where we come in. 5 Degrees provides APIs in the front layer, we provide orchestration and automation in the mid layer, and we have a microservices-based backend. And it's not just about the power of our own system these days, it's also about the ecosystem of fintechs. We have seen many fintechs also these days here, and they also provide future-proofness for you. You know, not just today, but also the fintechs that will be there in the future. So our system is also capable of using that ecosystem to provide services to your clients. And today, we want to show you an example of an SME business. We want to show you how we use our system in combination with an ecosystem, and we use a small and medium business enterprise that's going to onboard using our system and some APIs. And Max will show you through it.
Yeah, sure, Jan. So let's go back to the early days of 5 Degrees, because when we started as a company, we also needed a loan. And we know that from all the loan providers out there, 5 Degree Matrix Bank is by far the best bank out there with the best conditions and service. So we go to Matrix Bank and we can select a loan here. So we want to apply for a loan of 75,000 for a period of 12 months. If we start to request a loan, we need to provide some company information. So we have connected with a local Chamber of Commerce API, and we start typing the name of the company, and we get the returns of the possible hits. We select the right company, and as you can see, the fields are automatically being filled. The only thing I need to fill in now is the bank account details of the account that will be used to have the loan being repaid. So I put in the name of the company, and I go to the next step. Now here you see that we also need to provide information about the directors. So all I need to do is to check whether the information is correct or whether I need to add or adjust anything about these directors. So when I did that, I can go to the next step. And in the last step, you will see a summary of all information that has been provided about the loan and about the company. And when everything is okay, I can agree to the terms and conditions, and I can apply for the loan, which concludes the loan onboarding.
Great. So Max has shown you now the client side of this onboarding of this SME. He has shown also how we use an API of the Chamber of Commerce to make it as easy as possible for both the bank as the client. But let's also switch now to the banker view. Let's see what happens on the back and on the mid of such a process, how we pick that up in our system. Thanks.
Yeah, so this is the view of the Matrix Bank employee. And when we look at this dashboard, there's a widget about the onboardings that are in progress. So if we refresh the widget, we see that there's a new onboarding ongoing. So let's zoom in on this process. And as you can see in this workflow, which already started, a few steps have already been completed, such as the check for the credit at the API of Dun & Bradstreet. Now, because this has been completed successfully, we know that this company is eligible to get a loan. Now, what we need to do now is to check the IDs of the directors, which can be done, for example, by video ID. So if the Matrix Bank employee puts the task to completed, the workflow will automatically continue with checking the rest of the information, such as doing a KYC with other APIs in a sub-process. And when those checks turn out to be okay, then the accounts can be created and the directors will get the information to log in and the loan will be supplied.
Okay, thank you, Max. So now we have shown also how we pick up this process in the back, making use of a whole set of APIs. You know, we take care of the orchestration of that. We take care of the client information. But you also have seen a Chamber of Commerce now. You've seen a Dun & Bradstreet credit check. You've seen PEP check, blacklist, all kind of APIs that we use to provide also added value. But let's also take this one step further now, because we're talking SMEs here. And if you want to be really close to your client, you can connect with our financial administration. Because then you really know all about your client and you can help him. You can be there at the financial points when he needs you. So let's see what happens if we are going into an environment where we are connected to the financial administration, and see how we use analytics to enhance the process around that.
Yeah, so I'm now logging in as one of our existing clients, which is Tony Stark from Stark Industries. You might know him. And on his dashboard, there is an alert. Because we use this advanced analytics, we know that there's going to be a problem in the future. So let's take a look at the details. And as you can see, in January, Tony's got a problem because he's running out of cash. So he needs an extra funding. So what Matrix Bank then does is we can recommend a flexible business loan, for example. So Tony selects this option. But he knows, for example, that he wants to have less money because he knows some funds are coming in, and he can adjust the terms of this loan as well. And you will see that the repayment summary and the plan is automatically being adjusted as well. Now, when it's satisfying, then he goes to the next step, and then, of course, you need to know some financial information about his situation. Now, because we know this client, we already have this information, so it's being pre-filled, and all Tony needs to do is take a look at it and see if it's still up to date. So he can adjust that, and then go to the next step, select the counter account to repay the loan, agree to terms and conditions, and submit the application by using two-factor authentication. Now, when that's done, he applied for the loan, and when we go back to the loan overview, we see there's an extra loan being added.
Great. Now this is what Gartner refers to as empathic banking. Be there when your client needs you, based on the information that you have from him. This is not all we can do. We can do SME lending, we can also do savings, we can also do payments, we can do robo-advice. So we're happy to invite you to our booth that we can explain you more. Thank you very much.